Hey guys, what's up? It's Mike Chen, and today we are feasting on Shake Shack. I didn't even know there's a Shake Shack near me. It was about 10 minutes away. It's so awesome to find out there's one near me. And here's what I got. Well, basically I got everything on the menu. I got every single burger. Oh, the shroom burger. I cannot wait to bite into a shroom burger. I got the chicken, the fries. These are my favorite fast food fries. Shake Shack fries are my favorite fast food fries. The grilled cheese, I didn't know they had a grilled cheese, but I got that. By the way, meet my awesome plate. Me and this guy, we're gonna have a lot of good times together. So I added some fire noodles to this meal as well. Let's just dig into it. I don't want this to get cold at all. Look at this grilled cheese. I mean, this is probably not gonna taste as good since it's been out of the kitchen for a while. All right. I mean, it's just a simple grilled cheese, but who doesn't love grilled cheese? Yeah, I know there's always been like a huge debate regarding Shake Shack and In-N-Out, and I did a whole video on this. And for me, like, I feel like Shake Shack burgers are more flavorful, and In-N-Out burgers are fresher and better value. Like, you can't find as good of a burger for like $3 than In-N-Out. By the way, I always mix ketchup with sriracha. If you've never done that before, I recommend you give that a go. I never had chicken from Shake Shack before. Oh, I'm always impressed when fast food places actually use real chicken. Learn from that, McDonald's. Like I said, this is my favorite, the shroom burger. I mean, just a combination of this amazing cheesy mushroom with the burger. Oh, wow. I swear that one bite just cheered me up infinite amounts. Because every memory I have of Shake Shack has been a really pleasant one, except this one time. Oh, and by the way, I've been doing several of these eating / talking, telling stories, pseudo mukbang. Well, I guess it is mukbang, right? I've been doing a lot of these types of videos, and I've been incorporating like different stories, like stories from my life, personal stories, to stories I like that I've heard. I also thought, I don't know if you guys know this, I have a little channel called Beyond Science that's how I kind of got into YouTube. Well, now, I started off the great wall, but Beyond Science was a channel I worked on for a long time. I love topics like that. It's all about mysteries and bizarre stuff and creepy stuff. So I'm gonna start telling my favorite stories from the world of the unexplained. So more ghost stories, more unexplained phenomena. A lot of people are mad that I stopped uploading on Beyond Science, and I'm mad at myself. Like, I'm trying to upload a little more now, but I really liked working on it. So this could be like the best of both worlds. I could be eating and talking about stuff I love. So I'll get into one of those topics today, but before I do, I wanna talk about my one memory of Shake Shack that's not great. And that is really hard to do when I'm biting into a shroom burger. This has gotta be one of my favorite, if not my favorite fast food burger in the world. Chase it with some fire ramen. Quarantine life may not get better than that. This is also another favorite of mine, the smokestack. Look at this. Chili's bacon cheese. And I love Shake Shack because they got the little burger diaper right here, and it catches all the juice and grease that when you're eating it, all that juice squeezes to the bottom, and it catches it so you can have that one last magnificent bite. So my one bad Shake Shack memory. Actually, I filmed a bunch of Shake Shack videos, and one of the first Shake Shack videos I filmed was for a Chinese TV show. I was with the host Cece, and when we went to review Shake Shack, this is like a long time ago. We went to review Shake Shack, and I had to do the entire show in Mandarin. I don't know if I can find the show. If I find it, I'll link it down below. But I had to do the entire, I had to describe burgers in Mandarin. You know, like, my Mandarin is fluent, but it's not to the point where like I can adequately describe things, you know, especially flavors. You gotta use so many adjectives, and my adjective vocab in Mando, it's just really non-existent. I could say like 好吃, which is like delicious, and that's pretty much it. So we did this whole episode, and we ate every single thing on the menu. So we went out and we got like shakes as well. The hot dog that I got today, a bunch of different variations of the hot dog. cheesy fries. We got everything on the menu. I mean, usually tiny Asian girls eat a lot, but Cece didn't eat that much, so I had to eat like 80, 90% of everything on the table. And I did, so we ate everything, reviewed it. And then the camera person we had at this time turns to us. I can still picture those terrifying words that he uttered that made my heart completely sink. I don't think the mic was on. I tell you, as someone who's been filming for a long time, I don't think the mic was on. I don't think the footage captured. I don't think the camera was working. You know how words are not supposed to hurt you? Yeah, those will stab you in your very soul. So then we had to redo the entire shoot then and there. So we got a whole new table of every single menu item, and I proceeded to eat. I didn't finish it. I ate more than half of it because again, we had to eat it and talk about it. That was the only day in my life where I've uttered the words, I never want to see a Shake Shack burger ever again in my life. Only one time did I ever really tremendously hate on Shake Shack. Not today though. Hot dog is pretty crazy. Why did they split it? I mean, usually when people split it, they put like ketchup right here. So I don't know what their excuse is. Let's put some sriracha here. Yeah, baby. Oh, you know what would be really good? You guys ever heard of a noodle sandwich? Like, this is something you see a lot in Japan. So Japanese sandwiches, there's one where they put like noodle inside a sandwich. What if we put the fire ramen on top of this hot dog? What do you guys think? Evil, food genius, or sacrilegious? I dare you to try this and tell me this is not amazing. I mean, everything I love about ramen, all that extra deep flavor, because hot dog on a bun, unless the hot dog is supremely deliciously flavorful, it still lacks a little something, you know? But with the ramen, can't tell you I will never do this again. All right, so the story I want to tell you guys today, one of my favorite stories that I did on Beyond Science, I did a video on the most cursed objects in the world, and one of these cursed items I could never get out of my head, and this is the cursed doll Robert. So the story goes that in the 1900s, this is down in the Florida Keys, there's this young boy, his name was Robert Eugene Otto. And there's different versions of the stories as to how he received this doll, the cursed doll. Some say that was a gift from his grandfather when he came back from Germany. Others say that it was a birthday gift from one of their servants. But whoever it was, obviously hasn't seen Chucky. Well, of course they haven't. It's like 1900s. What am I talking about? Anyway, bottom line is, someone gave him, take a look. This is the puppet. I mean, the doll. I mean, I wouldn't even call this a doll. I would just call this a heart attack in a sailor suit. So he got this doll, and he really loved this doll. You know how kids are, they get really attached to something. And Gene was really attached to this doll, so much so that he named it after him. So the doll is named Robert. So Gene and Robert, inseparable, slept in the same room, went everywhere together. And then at first, like, Gene's parents thought, yeah, it's really cute, really loves the doll, cute kid, this is an adorable situation. Guys, I mean, I'm not a parent, and I don't mean to give you any parental advice or anything, but please don't give your kids creepy looking dolls. I mean, come on. I'm just asking for a gateway to hell to open up in your bedroom. So Gene and Robert went everywhere together. And the parents would like hear them upstairs having a conversation, which is normal. Come on, I talk to myself. Everyone talks to themselves. I've talked to my teddy bear before when I was a little kid. And at first it was fine because it was just Gene talking to Robert. But then the parents started hearing someone start to talk back in a deeper voice. It wasn't just Gene's little kid voice anymore. As another deeper, more demonic voice started to actually have a conversation with Gene. Not here to give parental advice. I know nothing about this. I never even had a dog before. But if my kid ever starts talking to a doll and this doll starts talking back, I'm gonna have to holy fire that thing. Anyway, so they start hearing someone talk back to Gene. And then, middle of the night, sometimes Gene will be screaming like, don't let him hurt me, don't let him hurt me. The parents would rush up and just see Gene cuddled in bed, so afraid. And Robert would be sitting at the foot of the bed. And sometimes when these things happen, like they hear like the whole room just rumbling, like things falling down. It sounds like complete chaos going up there. And they will rush up, and again, Jean will be curled up in bed, terrified. Robert sitting at the foot of the bed, and the entire room looked like a volcano blew through it. You know what? I'm just gonna... Come here, guys. Sucks to eat alone. But if you start talking, you're going down the trash chute. So either this doll came to life or this kid is like the greatest prankster of his generation. Eventually, Jean grew up, got married, and I think his wife's name was Anne. So he brings her to live in the house with Robert. And I think Anne has pretty good common sense because as soon as she saw Robert, she's like, yeah, he's gotta go. Of course, Jean wouldn't throw Robert away, so he locked them up in the attic. But then like things started happening. Guests who come over to the house say they hear footsteps running upstairs. They hear devilish laughter. And kids who are walking by the house to go to school or on their way home oftentimes will tell Jean that they see Robert sitting at the bedroom window staring down at them upstairs. But whenever someone said they saw Robert came and told him. So he would go upstairs and check, and every single time Jean opened the door to his bedroom, Robert was sitting by the window, even though Jean remembered for sure that he locked him up in the attic, and this happened every single time. Chucky's grandfather is Robert. We should make another Child's Play movie called Robbie and Chucky. Anyway, Robert died in 1974. But again, he kept the doll up in the attic and a new family moved in. And this is why I really hate old houses, like really old houses, because there's always something. I'm telling you, there's always something up with these old houses. Anyway, a new family moves in, they go and explore the attic, and of course, they find Robert up there. The one time he actually stays in the attic, right? They find Robert, they're like, oh cool, this is a really cool little toy for our kid. No, like how are parents so lacking in common sense when it comes to demonic looking creatures like this? But this was back in the 70s, so like everybody was moving into haunted houses, and even the ghosts were probably like, get out. And the family's just like, oh, it's just a house settling. It's nothing, it's just a murderous doll. Anyway, so they give this doll to their little girl, and then the little girl started having nightmares constantly, screaming that this doll is trying to kill her, which he obviously was. So finally, I guess the family gave up on the doll and gave it to a museum. So even today, it's in a museum in the Florida Keys, and you can actually go and visit Robert the doll. But even though it's in a museum, it's behind glass, people say that when they visit the doll, if they're not 100% respectful, if they insult the doll in any way, or even sometimes when they were trying to take photos, their camera will lock up and then it will be fine after they leave the museum. But a lot of people say if they insult Robert or are disrespectful to him in any way, something bad's gonna happen to you. There's been like so many, this is so weird, like so many documented car wrecks of people just leaving the museum after they were mean to Robert or something, and they're getting into a car crash. And people will even to this day write letters to the museum apologizing to the doll because their lives are so bad after they were mean to Robert. So I really do hope that Robert doesn't have access to YouTube. I'm just saying, this year's bad enough already. I don't need anything worse to happen. Oh, this is so good. I've really missed this burger. Something else that makes it so good, they buttered the heck out of these buns. Do I have time for one more story? I mean, dolls are always creepy, so I want to follow it up with a story that I heard in college. And to me, this is the funniest story I've ever heard in my life. So I want to tell you the story. And it's a poo story. So if this is gonna gross you out, don't watch it. But I recommend you do because it's not that graphic. And even to this day, I've told this story countless times. Even to this day, every time I tell it, every time I think about it, it cracks me up. All right, the person who told me this story, her name was Amanda Rouse. She and I went to college together. I think she told me this in our junior year. So thank you for the story, Amanda. She swears this is true, okay? I questioned her numerous times, like, this can't be real. She's like, no, it's 100% true. It's a friend of hers that goes to a different school. So here's the story. Apparently there's this guy really likes this girl, like really into her. But he's a little nervous to ask her out. So one day he finally works up the courage, goes over, asks her out. And she says yes. So in his mind, fireworks are going off, prayers have been answered, so happy. So they plan a big date. It's supposed to be dinner and a movie, you know, a typical date. And he gets all dressed up. So he gets brand new shirts, brand new pants. It looks really good. He goes and meets her at the restaurant. and he's really nervous. Also, I do want to say that this story is funny, I think, but it's also kind of sad. And I feel bad for this guy, but at the same time, I can't help but laughing. So they're eating at the restaurant. His stomach's rumbling, right? It's rumbling because he's really nervous. He's really gassy. So he's kind of uncomfortable. So he excuses himself and goes to the bathroom. And he's thinking he's gonna let off some gas in the privacy of the bathroom. Then his stomach will feel better, less grumbling, go back, have a great day. So he's in the bathroom and he relaxes. And made the biggest donation possible to the porcelain altar. He pooped. So, and this is the part I didn't really understand. So apparently he didn't do anything in the bathroom. He just went back and finished dinner. This is what she told me. He goes back. Maybe he just wasn't like, he's too in shock at this point. So he goes back, finishes dinner. I hope to God it was a dark restaurant. And then they start going on their way to the movie theater. But then he has a plan. He's like, okay, what if I can just go to the Gap where he got his pants, buy a new pair of pants, and she wouldn't have to know. So he's like, hey, do you mind if we stop at the Gap? I need to go grab a sweater for my mom or whoever he needs to buy it for. She's like, oh yeah, of course. So they go to the Gap and she knows someone who works at a Gap. So she's talking to the person she knows. So she's distracted. And while she's talking, he goes and picks up the sweater. He picks up the sweater and his new pair of pants, and he stuffs the pants inside the sweater so she doesn't see him buying new pants, right? That'd be suspicious. So he goes to the cashier. Still crunchy. So he goes to the cashier, throws the sweater, the pants, everything at her, and he's like, please ring this up really quickly. I gotta go, I'm in a hurry. So she rings it up, puts it in the bag, he grabs the bag, and they're off to the movie theater, and they're kind of in a hurry. So they take the train to go to the movie theater. So on the train, he grabs the bag and he goes to the bathroom on the train. He goes to the bathroom and decides to take off his pants, his underwear, all the dirty stuff, and he can't throw it in a garbage can because she might come to the bathroom and see. So he throws it out the train window, opens his bag, all there was a sweater. Let me know in comments, what would you do in that situation? Like I ran this scenario through in my head. I'm like, what would I do? I guess I would have to put on the sweater, right? So that's what he did. He puts on the sweater, gets off at the next train stop, never talks to this girl ever again. And it's such a crazy and sad story. Like, I feel bad for this guy. Like, yeah, it's a big day. You like the girl. I don't think I would have just like abandoned her. I would have just been like, I got a firm family emergency. I got to take off and say something, but he never talks to her again. And you can just imagine the only thing she must be thinking for like years was that was a stinky date. Sorry, I had to. That was a stinky date. I told you I'm a little drunk when I have too much food in me. Anyway, that's the story. It's crazy, sad. I laughed my butt off. I feel so bad for the guy, but like, I mean, if this is real, I feel bad, but oh my God. All there was a sweater. What is going on through your head at that moment? And poor girl, what if she really liked that guy? I just want to say also that if he told her what had happened, like been honest with her, and she would have been okay with it, or supportive, and like helped them clean up, or like, I don't know, whatever, then you gotta marry her, right? I mean, ladies, how many of you, if you were in this situation, would have been like, all right, it's fine, no big deal. Let me help you. What do you need? Do we need to go back to the Gap? Like, how many of you would have been okay with this? But seriously, guys, if you met a girl that this happened to you or something similar, and she didn't like run away in disgust, you gotta put a ring on that. I'm still searching for mine. Not saying I'm gonna do this as a test on our first date or something, but come on, this is ultimate. Can you imagine like at the 30th wedding anniversary, people are like, how'd you guys meet? And the girl be like, well, Timmy crapped his pants and the rest turned up all roses. Just saying. Anyway, that's the craziest story someone's ever told me. And so thank you, Amanda, for that story. Again, she swears to goodness it's a real story. It's happened to one of her friends. Anyway, I got a ton of poop stories. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those guys, I still find poop stories really, really funny. So I'm sorry if that's really juvenile, but I find it funny. So that's my Beyond Science-ish story, and also a funny story to make up for that creepy doll in case you were scared. So I'm still pretty hungry, so I'm gonna finish this off while watching some Naruto. I just started Naruto, so I'm gonna see how it is. All right, thank you all so much for watching. See you later.